It's hard to believe that this weekend is already here, but it is finally go time. This weekend, we are going to Arlington, Texas. I actually live in the Dallas area, or just outside of the Dallas area, and I am headed to Go Wild with approximately, I think it's 15 to 1600 of my planner friends to just spend some time together, get a little wild, and maybe do some crafting and some planning in between. So I thought it would be fun to take you guys along as much as I possibly could. I am just truly looking forward to this weekend so much. It's a once-a-year event held in a different city, hosted by Wild for Planners, and it is an incredible event that I have been able to be a part of since year one in 2016, and now here we are on the 7th year. I had to skip a couple of years because of COVID, so there was no Go Wild for a couple of years, but now here we are, and I'm so freaking excited. The packing situation was interesting, but I think I brought enough outfits to last me a month, so here we go. It was a blast. You could probably hear it in my voice. I have a little bit of like the post-wilds, like hoarseness going on, all of that stuff. Not the most fun, but usually it only lasts a couple days, and then I'm good to go. So I shared a reel recently where I was actually talking about doing some memory keeping in here, but using some of the fountain pens from Zebra because, fun fact, I did not even know that they had fountain pens, and they're super cool and super easy to use. I probably won't be using them today. I actually think they're in a pouch somewhere and I can't find them, which is like par for the course right now because, you know, I'm still kind of unpacking. But anyway, here is that book that was shown in that reel because I think a lot of people thought that it was like a planner, but what it actually is a journal from Archer and Olive, and I've had this since very early last year, and I started doing some memory keeping in it. It's kind of evolved like the way that I wanted to use it. Like this was from the Harry Potter event in Atlanta. I've kind of shared these pages a few times here on my channel, but now I'm kind of using it as where all of like my wild memories are going to be. And I'm also trying to figure out maybe if there's a way that I could do this for previous years. This was for Go Wild in DC. I still have quite a few pictures to print and things like that, but I'm gonna get there. I'm going to get there. I've been more motivated than ever to kind of finish last year. I haven't gotten there. So this year I'm trying to get more of a jump start on it. And what I choose to do is take the inserts from Lights Planner Action. I think last year for DC, I had bought the ones that were printed. So I ended up cutting them up. So I don't have like necessarily all of the pages that I wanted to have. But this year I used printables, and I still didn't use everything. I'm not gonna lie, because it was gonna end up being 50 pages long. And so what I've done is just kind of use the pieces that I knew that I was going to use, cut them up, and started using my stickers from the Sticker Party. I'm obsessed with them. I made it a goal this year to not like over order like Go Wild themed things, because every year I end up with way too much left over, and I didn't want to end up in the same situation. So this is the start of this year. I used like the card that they sent us. I did have to cut it down to make it fit, and I just kind of glued it in here so you could see like information about the entire event. And then I just kind of started with Wednesday, because I did arrive on Wednesday, even though the actual event is Thursday through Saturday evening or Saturday night at Planjama. But I was there on Wednesday, and I did go to Shop Summit. So I kind of have a mess here, but I probably won't do a lot of like the journaling part in this video, just because some of that's, you know, kind of personal, and I do want to save some stuff like just for me. But one of the cool things, aside from Shop Summit, was that we went to dinner, and I had my first espresso martini. Like, it was the most delicious thing ever. And so I took a little picture of that, and I'm just gonna put this here. Some of the pictures will take up a lot of space. I do print my photos with the Canon IV2. It is my absolute favorite. I will link it down below in the description of this video, but I love it because you can print larger photos like this, or you can even fit, I think it's like 6 or 8 per sheet. Like this is a good example that has like 4 different photos on it. And it's freaking fantastic. So the stickers that I ordered from the sticker party are just kind of more decorative and, you know, things like with the speakers on it and things like that. I don't know that there's one for Shop Summit on here. I'm not 100% sure. This is why I do so much of this like off camera. But what I typically will do is put things like, I use a little martini glass from the dinner that we went to. Is that a martini? That's a margarita, because that is definitely a lime. But I will put things like, you know, where we went to dinner and things like that. And then like, you know, mark out the time for Shop Summit, because I believe that that was 10 a.m. to almost 4 p.m., 3 p.m. I also will grab things like some coordinating Tombow markers. So the ones that I pulled are 723, 553, this darker plum color, which is 679. I love this color. And 623 and 673. Like all of these are just like freaking perfect for Go Wild, especially if you're more of like a letterer or just want to use some markers instead of a lot of stickers. So that's kind of how I put this all together and just kind of cut up everything, glued it down. I used my favorite Zig 2-way glue pen. This is like one of my like favorite things that is always in my pen case. I'll also leave a link for this down below in the description of the video. I also gather like other supplies like washi tape from like, this is washi tape from previous years. These ones are older washi tapes from previous years. The Wild washi tape was actually sold by Wild for Planners at the Go Wild in Austin. So it's no longer available. So this is like very coveted washi tape that I use in small doses. And then this is the washi tape that I grabbed from the sticker party for this year. So again, I try not to buy like way too much and then just kind of try to add pictures in here. So this journal from Archer and Olive is the 8x8 size, I believe. I'll confirm and also add that down in the description. I think this space is perfect for journaling days like this where they're kind of like very jam-packed. So on Thursday was when there was the planner fair and the welcome party, and you were able to take like headshots and things like that, which was like super fun, or yearbook headshots. I'm gonna try to like find the pictures from here, but I'm not gonna lie, some things got very, very mixed up. I'm trying to put like my Planjama photos like all together. One of my favorite things about like the planner fair space was that they gave us a lot of like photo op spaces, and I'll insert some video and photos so you could see it a little bit better, but I kind of loved this thing because it was like wild without the eye and you were able to stand in that space. And I thought that that was really cool. So I'm gonna try to find a place to put that there. Like I said, I took so many photos from Planjama because that's when I actually took the time to do like selfies and things like that. The other days, not so much because we were just kind of busy. But another one from the planner fair, and okay, I think that that's the majority of it. So that was a really cool photo op. I didn't get to do like the confetti carpet this year. I think maybe I'll just put this here. If I cover up some of the things like printed from the inserts, I'm totally okay with that. But I just kind of try to fit things where I can. I will say that a couple of my favorite things I wanted to include in this video was the welcome party, and that was hosted by Archer and Olive this year. That was so much fun. They had dueling pianos. People got to sit up there and sing. The piano artist got to sing. There were drag queen performers, which I absolutely loved. Here was like one of the photos of one of them. And I probably should have made this photo like a little bit smaller. I might cut all of this extra down so I can have more space. And this is why I love the Canon Ivy, like because it's sticker, photos on sticker paper, and it's so easy to just kind of cut things down. And I think I'll just put this right by the y'all means all. There doesn't have to be like a perfect rhyme or reason with all of this. So And it's also why I'm probably going to journal after to kind of give myself some space. But I just kind of love the way that this ends up turning out. And I realized that this is actually a Wednesday photo. In between some of the Shop Summit sessions, Danny and I met up with our friend Cynthia for some drinks, lunch, things like that. And I think I'm just going to kind of cut off the bottom because this is kind of a bigger photo. But overall, like the journaling, if you want to get into like memory keeping and journaling and things like that, I think it's, you know, kind of fun to give yourself some room for things to not be, you know, so perfect and so curated and things like that. And then leave yourself space to actually write about the day. It doesn't have to be jam-packed with photos, or it can be. Now, I didn't get a lot of photos of the planner fair, but I think I have some footage of what that looks like. And it's a really cool space for a lot of the sponsors to have, you know, the opportunity to meet people, their customers, their fans, take a look at some of the products that they have to offer. A few of the vendors actually had things for sale, but not all of them. There were also a lot of interactive elements to the planner fair, which I thought was really, really fun. I think Chrissy Ann Designs had this like blow up ball situation. I did not get in it. Things like that kind of terrify me, but there was also like a ball pit that Moxie Life had there. It's just a really cool event because you also get to intermingle with other people within the community and talk to people and take photos and things like that. Even Wild University had like a little photo op area. I just thought the whole thing was just really cool and fun. I kind of like that freer space that is kind of given to you in little like pockets at Go Wild. So you're not always sitting and listening to speakers. You also have time to interact with other people. And again, some of the brands that maybe you've worked with, have purchased from, you know, have always wanted to meet, things like that. So that was like really, really cool. So day one of official speakers was actually on Friday. Thursday, again, you have a lot of like welcome, bag, pickup kind of thing, planner fair, things like that, and then the welcome party. On Friday, you actually start kind of early and there are speakers and things like that. And so some of the speakers included VJ, the founder and creator of Notique, Bonnie, founder and creator of Archer and Olive. Shout out to her because her brand makes beautiful journals like this. There was also Planner Feud, which was hosted by Chrissy Ann Designs. I did miss most of that, but I do have a couple of photos from that event. And then we also had really fun coffee breaks hosted by Cloth and Paper, and even performances by Kristen Cruz, who is most known as a singer who has auditions for shows. I believe it's like American Idol or America's Got Talent or both. And she sang a couple of songs for us, which was also really cool. And then of course we had the Martha Stewart, which I wrote down one quote in my book. I wish I would have written down more quotes. That part I will say. We were given a journal in our welcome box, which I completely forgot to bring down to the room with me. And this one was given to us by Plum Paper. And it does give you the opportunity to write speaker and workshop notes. That is probably one regret that I wish that I had brought it down to the table with me. There's even like a packing list area and travel details, things like that. But I think that I could definitely use this for next year, so I'm not gonna toss it. I think this was very, very, very helpful. Another one of my favorite things, I would say another two of my favorite things were not just like the speakers in the event as a whole, but there were member-led meetups and they were so much fun. And those happened also on Friday. And there was also the Planners and Wine live recording that their Patreon members could attend, as well as other members. If you were a member of the Patreon, you were kind of like a VIP, so you get automatically signed up if you were attending Go Wild to be a part of the recording. And that was so much fun, so much fun. I know you guys know that I adore Meg and Myra. They are my best friends, and just seeing them live in action. I mean, they already host live recordings for their Patreon members very regularly, but to see it like in person was just, it's incredible to see your friends, you know, doing what they're so good at and what they love, you know, with their people. So this was really, really cool to be a part of. There was also things like a Taylor Swift listening party. I've got to find the picture, but I've got to be able to print it out. So the Taylor Swift group and the Beyonce group met together and and took a photo. I have it saved on my phone. I still have a ton of photos to print, but I thought that it was really, really cool. Also on Friday night was crop night. That's held a little bit later in the evening. I believe it was 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. So it does run kind of late, and that was really cool. There were speakers like Mark and Amanda Rach Lee and Lights Planner Action, all kind of showing you different memory keeping and journaling styles, and that was really, really fun. Again, it was another sort of interactive event. Sometimes those, in my opinion, can get a little crazy because there's like a lot of chatter in the room, and so sometimes it can be a little bit hard to hear, but nonetheless, they are fun. It was just a late night. I was tired. I was tired, you guys. Go Wild is definitely a marathon, so you're going to need plenty of coffee or tea if you are a tea drinker. And I actually did bring my journal down to the crop and started doing like a lot of these pages there because it was like a prime opportunity to bring some of my stuff. Now, I will say most years I don't bring anything to plan in. I don't bring anything to journal in, but this year I was like, maybe this will help me stay a little bit more ahead of my journaling and planning for this year. Now on Saturday was another day of speakers. I'm gonna insert some photo and videos. I didn't get to print photo and video of everyone, but the first one was the founders panel. So that included Callie Danielle, Felicia, Jarrell, Sierra from Moxie Life, and I feel like I'm missing someone, but I will kind of add in the photo there. And I'm just gonna kind of put these stickers in here. It's not ideal like how I wanted to put this, and I realized I want to go back and put Myra and Meg's names by the recording because I thought that was really cool. I loved that the sticker party included their names so that we could put them in our memory keeping. So as I print more photos, I will probably add these near those photos. Like I still have to print photos from Pop and things like that. So they're coming, I promise, they're coming. So after the founders panel was the Erin Condren Ultimate Planner Challenge, which I was super excited that I got to be a part of. It was hosted by Tanya, the CEO of Erin Condren, and this photo is very big. I'm probably gonna have to go back and print a smaller one, so I'm gonna do that. Again, memory keeping it doesn't have to be perfect. Like I printed this photo with full intention of putting it here, but now I realize I want to print a smaller version of it and probably put it in this frame because I definitely want to keep the memory that, you know, I got to be a part of something like that, which was really, really fun. There was also a Simply Gilded washi art workshop hosted by Irene from Simply Gilded and Jerica. That was also super fun. If you're not following Jerica, you need to. She's so talented with washi tape. Like I could just watch in awe. I didn't do it while they were doing it because I wanted to watch them more than actually, again, some of the events were very interactive. I was like, you know what, when I get home, that looks like something that would be really fun to do and very therapeutic. I will say that much. After that was Frank from Post Secret. I felt like a lot of his talk was very much, had elements of last year from DC, but also some news stories to share. And that was also really cool. And then after Frank was V from Under the Desk News. And I have to say, if I could pick a favorite speaker, it would be V from Under the Desk News. I thought that that was just an incredible, incredible talk for us. V shared a lot of perspective on, you know, TikTok possibly getting banned, which I think since then they voted yes on banning it. It's a hot mess, you guys. It is a hot mess, but it was both funny and educational, and there was like so much truth behind it, and really, really just truly enjoyed everything that they had to say. So for me personally, that was probably my favorite out of all of the speakers. It's always hard to pick a favorite every year, not gonna lie. So I'm probably gonna go back and put some of the speakers in here as well. Lessons have been learned with this memory keeping. I need to like simmer down on printing such large photos because now I need to kind of go back and add some things. I will figure out how to add them. This is why I'm saying like this is probably not going to be a complete journaling experience. This is going to be me working my way through how I'm going to memory keep in here. So Saturday was also Planjama, and not gonna lie, this is like all Planjama photos and they are probably not all gonna fit. I liked this page from the Lights Planner Action insert because there was like a lot of reflection, and looking back, also reflecting. I wish I would have moved this page to another page. Now what I could do is cut out a page from the book and tip it in, but it's gonna be fine. What I'm gonna end up doing is probably cutting a bunch of these up that are 4 to a page and then putting them down kind of all over, because this is more of like the Planjama page for me, and then just kind of sticking them all down. But yeah, this is how I ultimately end up doing all of my memory keeping for Go Wild. Like it's not about having the perfect memory keeper or having the perfect pages or anything like that. I'm probably gonna have some of it bleed into over here, but it's about just kind of having fun with it and having pages to reflect on and look back on what an incredible time we were all able to have because of this event put together by our planners. If I could give you my own personal tip, it would be take all the photos. They don't have to be perfect photos, right? They can just be, you know, the blurry photos. I even like look back at some of my most blurry photos and they make me laugh and they make me smile, and some of them make me tear up, and it's just a sign of like such a good time. Like I love this sticker that we got from the crop, and it was like plan hard, party harder, right? It's like literally the whole like how to surmise the event of Go Wild. Like so many freaking photos. When I finally got to Planjama and I was like, oh shit, I need to actually like take some selfies, I went ham and took like a selfie with everybody because I want to have these memories to look back on. You know, they're so fun and they're so precious, and the weekend goes by in a blink of an eye. Like one moment you feel like you are just unpacking and getting settled in your room, and the next it's time to go and you're like, holy crap, you know, that was literally like the most fun weekend. And when you're memory keeping, just don't overthink it, right? It's just pages to capture all of these special moments with the people who have, you know, been a part of this community that you've been able to meet, you know, people that you only get to see this one time a year. I think that is what also makes Go Wild so special, is because it is such a large event. It's one of the places where you get to meet the most people at once. And that is probably where I find personally the most value in Go Wild, because I always feel like there's always a lot of chatter. Like, did you feel like it was worth it? And I feel like the worth can be very subjective, right? To me, it is worth it just to be in the same room with some of the people that I have admired and loved and have grown to be, you know, a part of my literal every single day life. That is where the value comes in. And that's not going to be the same for everybody. And I get that. So you have to find where the value is for you and see if it makes sense for you to go. This was so fun. I got to meet Sarah Cannon, and it was so funny. I think we both like fangirled over each other. It was freaking hilarious. But again, that's my take on all of it. This is how I memory keep. It's not perfect. I'm gonna have to go back and add a lot of things, take away a lot of things, shrink down some of these photos, and just be able to look back on some of these pages and remember one of the most memorable weekends of 2024. I hope that you guys enjoyed spending this time with me today as I chaotically memory keep through here. I'm like not even looking at the pictures. I'm like, let's just put them down, guys. Let's just put them down, because it's not about being perfect. It's about getting these memories down. But I hope that you enjoyed this. And if you're thinking about memory keeping or feeling a little bit overwhelmed by it, I hope that you feel a little less overwhelmed by it. And you know, I hope that if you did not or were not able to make it to Go Wild, maybe this helps you reconsider for next year, because when they say, as cheesy as it sounds, that the next one is the best one, it's true. It is absolutely true. Every year I'm like, there's no way that they can top this, right? It's just not possible. And somehow Wild makes it happen every single year. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and if you are already subscribed, make sure you click that notification bell so that you know when my videos are posted here on YouTube. Until then, I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.